Have you ever met someone in the most ordinary moment of life, not knowing that it would change your world forever? This story begins on a cold morning, with a struggling farmer walking back home after selling the last bag of wheat he had left. His clothes were old, his shoes torn, and his face carried the weight of years of hardship. His name was Ion, a man who had seen better days but was now buried in debt, fighting to keep his small piece of land alive. He had almost given up hope when life brought him face to face with a girl whose world was the complete opposite of his. On the edge of the dusty road, a sleek black car stood still with its hood open. Beside it, a young woman in expensive clothes was trying to start the engine, her frustration visible in every move. Her name was Zara, a city girl born with everything Ion had lost: money, comfort, opportunities. She looked completely out of place in the village's silence, her polished shoes sinking into the dirt road as she nervously glanced around. Ion hesitated at first. His own problems were enough, why stop for a stranger? But something in her eyes made him walk closer. She looked lost, helpless in a way money couldn't fix. "Car's not starting?" Ion asked quietly. Zara looked up, surprised that someone in worn-out clothes would stop for her. "It just died." "I don't know what to do," she admitted. Without another word, Ion rolled up his sleeves, checked the battery, and got to work. His hands were rough and strong, used to fixing broken tools and tractors, and within minutes he had her engine running again. Zara's face lit up in relief. She thanked him, expecting him to ask for something in return, but he only shook his head. "Just glad to help," he said. For Ion, it was a small act of kindness, but for Zara, it was the beginning of something she would never forget. As she watched him walk away, she felt a strange pull in her heart. There was something about his simplicity, his quiet dignity, that made her want to know more. The next day, Zara returned to the village. Her curiosity about the farmer who had helped her turned into an urge she couldn't resist. She found Ion working in the fields, sweating under the burning sun, his body bent over the soil he was trying so hard to keep alive. She walked toward him, and though he was surprised, he greeted her politely. That was the start of a friendship neither of them had expected. Over time, Zara learned about Ion's struggles, the debts, the droughts, the sacrifices he had made to keep his late father's land. She saw the cracks in his life, but she also saw his strength, his resilience, and his honesty. And Ion, in return, discovered that beneath Zara's polished city exterior was a heart searching for something real. She wasn't just a spoiled rich girl, she was lonely, misunderstood, and longing for meaning in her life. But soon, the truth came crashing in. One evening, when Zara came to visit, Ion overheard a conversation on her phone. She was speaking to her father, and his name sent a chill down Ion's spine. Her father was none other than Malik Aslam, the wealthy landowner who had forced dozens of small farmers into debt, including Ion himself. He was the man who threatened to take away Ion's land if the debts weren't repaid soon. The realization broke Ion. He felt betrayed. He distanced himself from Zara, refusing to see her again. To him, she was the daughter of the man who had destroyed his family's dreams. But Zara wasn't ready to give up. She knew nothing about her father's cruelty until Ion's pain opened her eyes. For the first time in her life, she stood up to her father, demanding answers, demanding justice. It wasn't easy. Zara faced rejection from her own family, who couldn't understand why she cared for a farmer. But she fought anyway. Quietly, she began selling her own belongings, gathering money, and helping Ion pay off part of his debt. She encouraged him, stood by him in the toughest days, and reminded him of his worth. And slowly, Ion began to trust her again. Months passed, and what began as a chance encounter on a roadside turned into a deep bond. Together, they worked to bring change, not just for Ion, but for other farmers too. Zara used her influence to highlight the injustices her father's empire had caused. Ion, once on the edge of giving up, found new strength in the belief that someone stood by him. Their journey wasn't smooth. They faced criticism, rejection, and moments where everything seemed to fall apart. But through every trial, they held on to one truth: kindness and courage could bridge worlds apart. A poor farmer and a rich city girl, two people from different lives, proved that love, resilience, and justice could rewrite destiny. And in the end, when Ayan stood on his land, free from debt, looking at the crops swaying under the golden sun, he realized something powerful. That one simple act of helping a stranger on the road had changed his life forever. Zara smiled beside him, no longer just the daughter of a wealthy man, but the woman who chose to fight for what was right. So, dear friends, remember this: sometimes the people we least expect can become the greatest blessings in our lives. One moment of kindness can open the door to a story that changes everything.